Welcome everybody to the first episode of Workers and Resources Early Start DLC series that we're going to be doing. First and foremost, I want to just do a quick shout out to NCC Voyager. He or she took the time to actually source out for me the maps that could have the coastal, so you could do ships going across and all that cool fun stuff. So big shout out. Thank you for helping me put that together, because I wouldn't be sure at all what map I could go on to. And you might also notice too that we have potentially better audio for voice recording than we had previously. What I would like to hear from you is in the comments below. Let me know how the audio sounds. I've been tweaking it for about 2 days, and I invested probably 6 hours into my audio already to try to get it to be the best recording possible. But I don't know how that audio really does sound. So comments below, tell me how it sounds. And if you are an audio engineer or know a lot about audio for vocals and microphones, join our Discord and send me a message in there saying that you can help me out to get some settings done. I got a Rode podcast mic now on the XLR with a USB Mix 4 project series. So if you know anything about that, please join the Discord and let's have a conversation. But anyways, I was taking a quick look around, and I'm thinking the map that I want to go on to for this early starts series that we're doing is going to be France, which was one of them that was mentioned that can do the coastal full ocean access. One of them was France, and I think that was correct. So that's the one I think I want to play on. So we're going to do France, obviously realistic, and then we're going to start on the earliest date we can, which is obviously that 1930s date, with everything else enabled, like every single other Let's Play that we have done before, but this time starting with early start and on France, and let's see how far we can get with this republic before potentially we go under, we stay afloat, or we decide to move on to a different map. But if we're just going to decide to move on to a different map, that would probably not be in the next near future. So without further ado, let's get started. All right, we have officially loaded into our early start Let's Play series. There are a couple things, couple housekeeping items, I guess I should say, that I want to kind of go over and cover initially at the start. First of which, this has changed. It used to be the red cross, but I think they got in trouble. So they had to change it to the green cross because it's Geneva Convention. And also they changed the red cross down in this taskbar here. So that's the first thing that I wanted to cover and talk about before we actually fully dive into this Let's Play. And I want also people to know that this Let's Play is going to be a lot slower than most YouTubers you probably see on the platform, because my knowledge and wealth behind this game is limited, and now I'm putting into a DLC which changes the game completely. It's almost a completely different game. Everything's different, a lot of learning, so it's going to be a lot slower than potentially others that you see. So take that as it is. So secondly, or I guess that's now third, what I want to do, because what we did last time with Bravoslav, which this republic is going to also be named Bravoslav, I think it's just a great republic name. We started out with an industry that was going to be lumber. What I wanted to do in this Let's Play, because we're starting in the 1930s, I want to do farming instead, to be kind of our main source of income. Because if you take a look, if we find our resources, wherever they are, hold, bear with me. Where are they? They're under the ledger, are they? Oh, okay. Current prices on the global market. So crops, you can buy or sell for 16, so I think it's a good first industry. Now, granted, I know it's going to take a lot of manpower to actually do any of this farming, because if we take a look at the agriculture, food and alcohol, small field, maximum number of workers is 75, 150, 250, but it's going to take a long time to get really anything going in this this republic, because it's early start. All the vehicles have changed. Everything is super slow, and a lot different. And what you really need to rely on is steam engine, or coal. Sorry, I should say steam and coal for your trains. That's pretty much going to be the bread and butter in these first 30 years. Is making sure that your train system's set up, trains can go far, everything can move around quickly, because there's not a lot of capacity from what I've seen and from what I've heard. And also a lot of stuff is locked behind research now, like road vehicle depots. This is locked behind research for a lot of them that you want. This is locked behind research. This one's completely locked behind research for vehicle repair stations, except for these very tiny small ones, which arguably look a lot more 30s, which is good, because that's what we want when we're playing this early start DLC. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is locked behind different aspects that you have to research, which brings another form of realism to the game, which I like, even though we don't really know a whole heck of a lot going into the game to begin with. So I think if we start building Bravoslav on this side of the mountain, we could, or we can even do it in this cove here, which is a bit far away from the customs house. So I do think potentially here is a better location to start building everything, and then we can easily move off into this direction, and we can do farmland all through here, and then our trains can run in easily, and we can do all the stuff that we need to do. And then this also opens up for the expansion opportunity for our factories and stuff like that maybe need some boat options to take everything further down. I'm going to call that south, just from the border and the map, down south, to export everything and kick it all out. So I think that's going to be our plan. I'm going to build it here. Going to do a bunch of grain over here, or farms, I guess, to make crops to store, and then our trains will just take it from there, and we'll just take it out of the city, and we'll just export it for some potentially early gain opportunity. Oh, and I also didn't notice, I guess we have a small custom house up here. I thought I took a pretty good look around, and we only had a few Soviet locations to go through, but it looks like we have one down here. Again, I don't think I want to build up here, because it's definitely the same as like last Let's Play, where we might get congested. This just seems like a long way to get down, and this also, I just think it's too far out of the way. I really did like this side of the map. I just thought it was a lot more freeing and opening, so we're gonna do that. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into it, I guess, and see how well we can do. So yeah, if we're building the town over here, we should just get some main roads formed, have them going straight into the city. So we'll do something like that. We also bring over another one and do the same thing. Yeah, okay. And then if we're doing farmland over on this location here, we should probably have our construction temporarily set up over here, just because this will become very industrialized with shipping yards, train drop-offs, you name it, it's going to be very industrial. So I think it is quite fitting if a construction yard was over here, with also drop-off potential for trains. So I'm thinking, because if we hook this one up, that would be 3 in, and we could easily hook it. I think we hooked it up here. Or should we bring it out this way? Yeah, maybe we brought it out this way, and then that would be a designated line into the customs house, which I think is a good idea. So let's do that, and then we'll kick this one out this way. And then if we did this one to come off like that, and then bring it over and like that. So then you can come off and go to wherever you need to go to, but then you can also, if you're coming back on this road for temporarily, it's going to be a two-way road where you can kick out, and then this will just be very much dedicated, which could be our first gravel road for more streamlined access and quicker to get in. Or we could do a roundabout here, which now that I'm saying roundabout, I'm like thinking, yeah, that makes a lot more sense to have a roundabout here with the side bypass. Again, remember, I did say that there's going to be series, none other like any of them that you've seen on YouTube before. I get quite distracted and double down on ideas that were ideas, and now they need to be different ideas. So if you can sit through that, I think this series and this Let's Play is definitely going to be for you. So yeah, I'm going to get that roundabout set up. I'm going to take this road out because I think I'm just going to set it off of this roundabout. And this will just be a very designated own personal road for the customs house, which we can make a two-way in case the truck is just going to the customs house. It can just completely bypass everything, and then it can also head out the other way it needs to go. So yeah, that's going to be the kind of fundamentals of what we're doing for a road layout. So I'll just run this guy up this way so I don't kind of forget what I was planning to do. So I'm going to run him up there, and then get rid of this and that. And then, yeah, we can kind of run these fully up and get some gravel going quite easy and quickly early on. I think as well I'm going to do a roundabout somewhere around here just so I can come back this way easier if ever need be. So we'll plunk in a roundabout here. Probably another big roundabout. I noticed that the bigger the roundabouts, usually the better they kind of work. And also in the future, you have more availability to switch things around if anything gets too congested or clogged up. You're not as handicapped if you did a very small roundabout. So I always find bigger roundabouts are better to do than smaller roundabouts. We'll do something like that, and then we'll make sure we get rid of the extra nodes, so we're starting out strong. All right, with that laid down, we can cut this one back, but we can also hold this one off here, which this might, just because it's probably going to be a temporary yard, we might just be able to pull this one just straight off of this road and just kind of do what we need to do with it. So if we did something like that, it's kind of just a jot out, and let's pull it 530, which is that. And then could we do something? I think we could do something like this, but we can make it even better. So if we did this and then pull this up, I think if we did that and that, and then we can kind of hook up straight to that. So let's get rid of that. And then from there, let's go 520, like so. Okay, so then, yeah, they can come off on this, and they can kind of go this way. And then afterwards, once we're like over with it, we can just quickly delete it and be on with it. But now let's get our temporary construction yard, probably on this side, so we're not bumping into our train station early on. And then we have all this room up here to build the town, build the train yard, whatever it may be, even if it's over this way. So let's pull a road from here. Actually, might want to not have it super far away from the customs house. So I think if we did something along the lines of 230, and if we brought out a line temporarily as well here, just so that we can have more access Or did I? No, sorry. I want to go on. Welcome to this Let's Play. Constantly just changing our decisions. Yeah, so we want to go on this side, and then we can build some yards, some construction yards on this side. So let's try to use all of them that we can. So if we do 1, flip, 2, flip, 3, and flip, 4. Yeah, so if we do something like that, we could also set up... we might as well just put all of them down. And I'm trying to... because captain of industry to flip is F. For workers and resources, it is T. So quite different from the games themselves. But yeah, we'll do something like this. Bring that out like that, and then we can hook all of these up. Do something like this, like that, and like that. Okay, so all those will be hooked up. Now we can get some trucks. We should also probably get gravel aggregate storage so that we can just kind of deliver it somewhere, and then we kind of constantly always have it. In the near future, we can just easily get rid of it, and we don't have to worry about it, and it won't be a problem. So I might do gravel aggregate on this side of everything. I want to leave this to be its own independent road, so nothing gets too clogged up. I'm going to do the same thing where for the open storages and for everything else. But let's get aggregate, which would be under... where is it under? This is gravel. So like even the quarries, you need to unlock more research behind them. You can't just get all the really big quarries anymore. You got to unlock everything, which I think is phenomenal. Okay, so here's aggregate. Here's the aggregate storage. And like I said, we want to have the storage itself on its own kind of road. And we'll probably put the fuel and a dispo on its own road as well. Or on this road that leads in, because I'll have enough of a runway here that we shouldn't see a problem where it's a backup. And then we could do fuel right over here, and everything should stay relatively spaced out from itself. We shouldn't have any troubles. So another thing that was brought to my attention, and it was from Spam Filter. Another huge shout out. I love my community. You guys are great. You're always giving me suggestions on how to improve the game and when I play, and so that I don't get myself kind of stuck and wasting resources, even though we're not going for a min-max type playthrough. It is still refreshing, not going completely AWOL. I guess that's the best word. You know, still doing something that makes sense. And one of the things that he was mentioning in my I think it was my most recent or my second most recent video, is having your distribution offices by where they're picking up the product, not where they're putting the product down, but where they're picking up. It actually reduces the amount of time between. So say if I need fuel and gravel over here. If I was to put my distribution office next to it, and this is what, again, Spam Filter explained to me. If I was to put my distribution office next to it, my distribution office would have to go from this location to the border to go pick it up, back to the location to drop it off, and then go back to this boat. This way, they're just here, pick it up, there, and then that's it, and then they come back and drop it off. So they're actually saving themselves some trips instead of having to go from their location to the customs, back to their location, and then park. It's just there, and back. So it does, I believe, saves one trip. But again, correct me if I am wrong. Maybe it doesn't save anything. But I believe Spam Filter, and I believe it saves us at least one trip from going to the customs house. So for here, we're going to need an oil tanker, which these are very small oil tankers. They do not store a lot at all. So that one stores 5. I believe it still stores 20 tons. So what we're probably going to need to do is do oil tanker. We're probably going to get 2 of them. And then that means if we're getting 2 of them, we're going to need to get 2 trucks to probably fill up this aggregate quickly. Or we can just tell them to go grab everything on the border until they get about to this roundabout. And then we can start storing our own gravel once they get out here. And I think that's what we're going to do. So we're just going to get... we're not going to use the aggregate yet, but we are going to go oil tanker 1, 2. We're going to purchase 2 of them. And I don't think we want to get anything else, like not a dump or anything like that, because it would just be kind of sitting there and being a waste. We don't need dry, we don't need feller, jumper, waste, refrigerator, open haul oil tank. So we don't need anything else. That's currently all that we need. So we'll tell them custom house to there, and then we'll have to tell them later what they're picking up and what they're dropping off, but that is fine. In terms of what I wanted to take a look at before we get too deep. So distribution office is small. Does take research to get. We get 5 distribution offices, which in the normal circumstance for workers and resources, that would be quite a few. But in terms of the early start, they can only carry 5. So normally in normal DLC or in normal workers and resources, you only need about 1 tanker to fill up this fuel station relatively quickly. Now we need 2, and it still is 1% or 1 liter lower than the one you can get just off of the regular base game. So that is potentially going to be a problem early on that we might need to figure out. So we might have to get research up and operating a lot quicker than, say, we might normally do in a traditional game. Yeah, okay. So that is fine. We'll get our distribution office up and running. Now, even the construction yard, we're going to need a lot, and I mean a lot of machinery very early on and quickly, because it builds everything so slow. So we're going to want to get construction offices very fast so we can get a lot more vehicles working a lot more quickly. And if we have a lot more vehicles working, yes, we're spending more money, but we're getting things up and operational just that much quicker. So this is going to get decommissioned eventually, which ideally the train will run pretty parallel, whether it be it comes on this side and runs parallel and cuts back and blah, 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 blah. Or we just allow it to run on this side with all of the industrial that's going to be going up. So we probably want to do our construction offices somewhere in here, which is a little bit of an extra added distance for them to go from here to here and then up to build over here. But I just think in long-term longevity, it makes sense for them to be down here, out of the way, and they have quite a large distance that they can go to go pick up anything that they may need. So let's get our construction offices kind of up and operational. We're probably not going to build them right away, so I'm going to say build from resources, active construction. But yes, obviously build from resources because we're in realistic mode. We can't not do that. But they're just not going to build. And then before I forget, because I always do, let's put that as not get citizens so that we don't totally hoop ourselves. So that's better. And now we can set up our construction offices, and we're going to do 2 of them. And I think we're going to do them on this side. I think we want to activate snapping. We'll do something like if we can flip this. Maybe not. Yeah, I think if we do this. So if we did 1, let's bring it in off the main road a little bit. We can do something, say 1, and then this one would have to be flipped. Now we can just kind of level this one up as close as we can, because it does look real good. So if we did something like that, would look good. And then let's straighten out this road so that it makes sense and actually lines up to... I guess we can't really get it lined up, can we? We're just gonna have to eyeball it. Let's do 190. That should be good. And let's bring this one in and bring that in. Okay, perfect. It will need power. for anything to run so that we can drop off gas and stuff like that. But currently, I mean, there's going to be gas stations around. We can hook up electrical just so we don't forget, but I don't think it's generally necessary early on. But we easily can put down like an electrical substation, which doesn't really take much in terms of resources to get up and operational. So maybe, yeah, we'll throw down, let's just say we'll throw them down here. We'll do a substation there, and we'll set up the pathway there. And now this will store up both of our offices with the power that they need, and we'll kind of go from there. So this one is under suspension. It's not going to be building, which is good. And then we should get, so while we're planning everything out, we should start doing gravel roads, whether we're doing nothing now or we're doing something down the future. It's better if we just get that up and operational, so we're delivering stuff. And then when the game, when we hit play, we're not waiting for different resources to accumulate. We can just kind of get underway and everything can operate and run smoothly. So let's go to general cargo. We're going to want some free open storages, and we're going to want to place these on their own road. And I think if we bring this road out, we can place them on their own road, and they're not going to get in the way of anything. This is going to be far enough away, which is going to be good for us. So let's do 1, flip this one, 2, flip this one, 3, and flip this one for number 4. Perfect. So then let's bring this road out 105, bring this road out 105, and let's turn that one out, and that one out that way, and out, and out. Perfect. And then we want to now add limited resources. This one is going to be our steel storage. This one is going to be our prefab panel storage, 100. Our brick storage. And our last one will be, I believe it's boards. Yeah, so we're going to do steel, prefab, bricks, and boards. And that will be kind of everything that we're going to need early on anyways. Down the road, obviously, we're going to be needing more storage. But for right now, this is going to last us plenty. One of the things that we do need to get hooked up, and then we can press play, is we need to get a distribution office, which again, we're going to set all of our distribution offices up in here. I just think early on it just makes sense. Like, have them away from the construction yard and, like, don't jam it up, but just grab the materials you need, bring them back here, and then park yourself out of the way with your own designated fueling. And if you need fuel, you can grab it from here. But it just makes sense to have them out of the way. Just like I'm having the construction yard out of the way, and we can set up bigger aggregate storages, or not aggregate, sorry, open storages closer to here, or even potentially on this side. The train can just kind of wrap around and wrap out, or it can just wrap around and then have the track going out this other way. But I'm wanting to kind of use this location very much for very big construction heavy location, and then this is going to be more industrial. And then out here is going to be agriculture, and then out over here we might build another town. So that's kind of the plan, is construction, industry, ag, town. We'll think about it later. That's going to be our plan for this early stages of workers and resources, which I'm happy that I have a plan, because normally there's no plan. It's just kind of whatever feels right in the moment. And I'm sure that's still going to be the plan, is whatever feels right in the moment is probably what we're going to do. So this has 2 tankers, but I'm going to set this one up to be open haul, and we are going to look at total capacity, because we just want to bring as much as we can. Not this one though, because it only can do wood. This one can do 5 tons, 1.5, 1.5. So this is the one that can take the most, and I think we should do, I'm thinking probably 6 of these, just to bring out material as fast as it can, and if we need to, we can pull them out of the dispo, and once the construction yard is done, then they can go into there if we need more space. But I think early on, let's do 1, 2, 3, and then let's show more, open hall, total capacity, 1, 2, 3. So let's do 6 of them early on, and let's get the game unpaused so that they actually start making their way to the office. Or first they're going to make their way out of town, and then they're going to come back into town. Also, there has been a revamp for the custom house. Now actually every single road works. So they're not going to kind of sit awkwardly and idly and weirdly. They're actually going to properly come into the custom house, which is great. So now for this construction office, I want it to start building our gravel roads as early as possible. To do that, we're going to need a dumper. We're going to need total capacity, and this can only do 5 tons. So we might want to do 2 offices as road, and then the rest can focus on getting our construction offices up, and then we can focus on getting a town. So what I'm going to need, I believe, is dumpers. I'm probably going to need, I'm going to say, probably, let's start with 2. So total capacity, 1, 2. And then I'm going to need, I believe excavators can do road. Bulldozers also do road. But this bulldozer looks to be 15 and the excavator is 21. Now I don't know in early start DLC if that's the same philosophy. But what is an excavator cost? 3 grand to a bulldozer is 2 grand. So I think a bulldozer might be better. And we'll do, let's say 1. We'll do 1, which leaves us 1 more open spot, which I don't think we need anything, but we could do another dumper while this bulldozer pushes. So let's get 1 more dumper and bring them on over. And then let's say you're going to get all of this extra stuff there, but you're going to get everything else from the custom house. And you're going to just search for roads. Which that's pretty much all that's going to be up for building. And what I want to build first, I believe I'm going to want to build this road first. But I want this to be the road that leads in the construction office, not this temporarily ran road. So let's start by setting up this first, just so we remember that that's kind of our plan, that we want this to be the primary road in and not some other random road. So let's do that, and then let's bring this road around and connect it here. So that would be kind of my cue that this road is going to be obsolete, which if that's the case, we should bulldoze that, and we should build the power somewhere on this side instead. So it actually makes sense. So let's build it. I think what would be good is building it there. So this road's going to come out. This road's going to stay. I want to have this main road gravel and the secondary road also gravel. So let's grab our gravel and let's build up this road. Or can we cancel, demolish? Oh, what are they going to do? What just happened? Oh no. That was not the goal. That was not the vision. I want that to get deleted, and then I wanted to be able to build the whole entire length before anything else. So yeah, you can see just how slow these actually truly do move. It is very, very slow. So this is going to take a very, very long time. I do wonder why, though, that they're not interested in going this way. Is it because I deleted the road and they got confused? It could be because I deleted the road and they got very confused. So it looks like they're going to be taking the long way. Oh, no. We just experienced a crash. Okay, let's see how much it saved. Ooh, we are back. Thank goodness for autosaves. The only thing I had to really redo from the crash is this road. I had to redo that node. I had to redo the road that came around to the construction sites, and I had to redo the electrical, and then repurchase some vehicles and purchase some get everything just kind of reset back up. Otherwise, everything itself worked out just fine. And these guys look like they're already off doing what they need to do. So yeah, we'll keep everything stored at 30, which is great. Yeah, and then we can kind of just begin where we left off, I guess. Yeah, so they're gonna start fueling everything up. I'm hoping that they are fueling up this one over here before he goes and fuels up anything else, because we do really need the ones over here done quicker. And these guys are going to just be abysmally slow because I bought the bulldozer first. And that is going to be causing a backlog real bad. But once they get over there, everything else will probably hopefully speed up, which is fine. Just the beauty of it is he has to go from here back to here. Or he might start on this side. But I think he's going to start on this side. Which is fine. He can do that. He is a 1930s bulldozer. You, my friend, you can do what you need to do. Okay, so we left off with doing that. That is now being fixed and finished. What we really need to get up and operational early on, and it's just going to suck all of our money away, is these construction offices and also train. Train is going to be our saving grace very early on. I agree with you. Pass the bulldozer. It's going to be our saving grace very early on is getting these infrastructures up and operational as fast as we can, so that we can combat everything in terms of how slow it is going to be. So I'm just going to set these ones so they're flush together, because I'm thinking what would be a perfect idea is to have the drop-offs kind of over in this area, so they can pick everything up that they need, and then they can just ship it out here. I know it's going to be a far distance. I get that. You're probably going to put in the comments below, Brave, this is a long distance from here to here. I get it. It's just I'm trying to leave it out of the way so I don't cram myself up, because I want to do the town very much in this location, and I don't want things to be in the way of it. So it's all going to be over here, but it's going to be fine. It's going to be better. What I could do as well is I could have trains pick it up and bring it over here temporarily for a drop-off, but I'm not sure if that's kind of the way we want to do it neither. But yeah, these guys are off to go get... Looks like he's off to go get fuel far away. I hope this guy drops off fuel and they reconsider their horrible decisions. Yeah, because he's going to get gas way over there. And I can't tell him to go elsewhere. I really hope you're getting diesel from this one. Nope. Okay. It doesn't matter. He needs time because this guy's going all the way over here and he's going to have to go get diesel or petroleum from down at this one anyways, so I think it's all fine. Now, let's get some... Oh, I did actually forget to buy our 6 open hauls. So I need total capacity 1, 2, 3, and same here. Show open hauls, total capacity 1, 2, 3, and then I need to go there. And 1, 2, 3, 4, and then share. Actually, I need to do load first, unload, not loading, unload, 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 and keep it at 100%. So you're just going to constantly be going back and forth, but that is fine because we need you to do the thing. Waste transport between open storages. You need a flatbed truck. These are flatbed trucks. Is it just because they're not actually arrived yet? So yeah, these guys will start hauling all that good stuff over here so we can fill up these storages. They also will be getting their fuel from here, which is what we need. So this should all be good and dandy. They're going to get some fuel first. Then they should go grab material. Then we can start building these up. And what I was saying before I got completely sidetracked is we can set up our depot, our open storage here. And that would allow us to bring all of our material in that we need. And then we're close to the industrial park area, which is going to have to be a lot to do. And then we're also very close to here. And then this is going to be all agriculture, which doesn't take a lot to build, surprisingly. So having to go out that far doesn't seem to be a problem to me. The biggest hurdle was going to be obviously getting everything out here. And I'm now even thinking having the train stuff over here might be a better idea, because we can bring the train off, and then we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can have one of everything, and that would be quite a lot of storage. And we wouldn't really need to bring everything in. Then we can sit on a bulk of storage, or we could even just do 2, and then mix these 2 and mix these 2, or we have more storage. So I think I'm gonna do that. So that means the train's gonna have to kind of come in this way, and then onto here. And then if it wants, I can, bring them out as well. So I'm gonna do. We'll bring it back to about here. We'll do 1. And then I don't think these can push and pull. So I'll do 2 there. And then... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip them. I want the tracks to be on the same side. Yeah, I want the tracks on the same side. I think that's definitely better. So T to flip. And then do something like that. And then T to flip again. And we'll try to put them as close as we can. Like that. Then that way allows me to kind of run the same track in and not have to worry about anything. And I'll flare these ones out just like the other ones that we have. Okay, that's going to be good because that's going to allow me to have the train come in, drop off whatever we need. And then this would be in, this would be out. So we actually might want to have a roundabout over here so we can send them off this way, or just to have a turnaround point. So yeah, if we did, let's cut that back. Let's just do a small roundabout here, just so they can get themselves turned around. Let's do an 80. And then that would be good because they can themselves turn around. So far, the early start DLC is great. Minus the crash. I will say minus the crash. I think this is super cool. It is very... It's going to take a long time to get anything done. But that's okay. So let's assign them to start working on that. And they're going to be bringing in material. Look at that. Our first material coming in. And we have never done this before. We have never started building anything on the first episode. We always are way, way, way delayed on beginning anything at all. We're usually paused for the first hour. So this is definitely moving a lot faster than, say, that we normally would. Okay, so if we're trying to get groundwork done, which just needs groundwork, this needs concrete, gravel, and asphalt. Honestly, quite a lot. Just to get those up in operation. I'm wondering... No, because they're going to be permanently built, and these are over here, and I'm definitely building up for a bigger location to bring steam engines. I think these can get filled up quickly. Because I was thinking about, oh, maybe if we did a small one. But, actually, speaking of that, we could do a small one and start building up that one first, and that would give us access to more machinery. Like, we could do a 6 or a 16. We could even do a 6 just for road development. This could be like the road development team. And we could even put it... I wonder if we could put it here. And then we could actually get rid... Not rid of it, but like... We did... What if we did something like this? No, that would look weird. I'm thinking this. What if we flip this? No, we want to do... Definitely want to do it like this. I'm just thinking if we did, say, just enough so we make sure that we get electrical cables in there. If we did something like that, and then let's put this as our first construction. Because yeah, this is requiring it so much less, and then we can actually have a dedicated road maintenance crew, which we'll rename this building to Pesac. Say in the comments a different name. Not going to stick with that. Let me know a different name. Road Const team. So this is going to be our first construction team. We're going to try to build this one up as fast as we can. So that means that we're going to need to get in this one here. We're missing a concrete mixer, and we're missing dumpers. So this one's going to be show all dumpers, total capacity. So this is dumpers. We're going to need 1, 2, and then concrete mixers, total capacity 1, 2. So that's going to be able to bring in everything we need in terms of groundwork, because gravel, concrete, and asphalt. Resources need to finish entire construction. More concrete, more gravel, more asphalt. Got it covered. Bricks, boards, steel. So this one's full. This one here, we're going to need to do open haul, total capacity 1, 2, 3, and then a bus, which can bring in 14. It's our only bus. That fills that one up. And then we need to do workers, that. So that's going to be fine there. And we might want to do, how big? Okay, there's 30. So we might want to do, I think it was this one here. We're going to do one more bus. Just because we need to be able to bus in people a little bit quicker than 14 at a time. And then let's start bringing that. So this guy's not going to auto search. We're just going to tell him to do roads, and we're going to add him, assign him to 1. And this is going to be renamed. It's going to be Pesac Temp Const Road Team. All right. So they're going to be our first temporary construction team. Missing concrete mixer. That's a lie. You are not working on the... You're not working on that. You're just working on the road. High priority for you as well, good sir. And you are now assigned as my construction office mode, and I can assign you number 1, and then number 2 would be obviously these guys. And I don't want cancel construction mode. I don't want them working on that. I only want them working on that. Okay. Because if they get that up and operational, then we can have a dedicated team going and putting down whatever we need. I'm wondering, can I get that more straight? OCD is going to get you. So I'm going to turn on the grid, see if I can get that straightened out. No, not to get it as close as I want. So I might do, that actually looks a lot closer than what I previously had it as. So I'm going to do that. And then number 2, assign construction mode. And construction has stopped. Just because it has no workers or machinery. And this can have 1 mech on site. And this is the one with only had the 1 bus in it. So I'm going to do an excavator, and I'm going to do 1. Because that's all that it can have. And we can't even do any, like, cranes or anything, because we don't have them. They weren't invented, I guess, in the 1930s for cranes. But that is A-okay. So we'll start pushing gravel around and get some stuff done. And hopefully get this completed quickly. So that we can start working on the next one and the next one. And then hopefully we have a very large road system where vehicles can go a lot quicker than what we're going right now. Because these guys can go 30. And I think gravel roads only allow you to go... Well, they let you go 35. So this is the max speed. This is it. You're looking at it. This is how fast we're going to be able to go early on. This is wonderful. What are these guys? Oh, these guys are transporting concrete. And they can go 17. That's as fast as they go. Crazy. So anyways, yeah. All right. So yeah, we got all these guys. Why are you sitting? Oh. Work. Mush. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that you also need to do stuff. You can't just sit and waste my money. You need to also be working. But yeah, look at how crazy cool these things are. I love that. Boom, there's your thumbnail. Alrighty. Yeah, so we're going to get this kind of construction area set up and operational first. That's going to definitely be our first tackling project. And then I think the rail system in as well as our first project. And then we're probably going to look to start getting some people moved in. But we'll be building the town as we kind of keep going. We're not just going to sit on not having a town. But yeah, this... Cancel that. I don't want you working on that. So maybe I need to turn off your auto search, but I don't want to. Okay, I need to tell you all. Okay. I think the reason why they're going over there is because it's set to high priority. So they're gonna try to work with everyone to finish that as well. But they're dropping off enough gravel. I don't need everyone else worrying about gravel because they're just grabbing gravel from here and dropping it off like instantly. They're not doing anything else. Unless they're... Where are you loading from? Where are you? Oh, okay, so you're fully loaded. Where are you dropping this gravel? Let's speed this up. I'm just kind of curious where they're dropping this gravel off. Everyone's filling up over here. Very popular gas station. And I think they're maybe dropping the gravel off there and they bounce back here, which is really weird why they wouldn't just drop it off there. And then they would bounce there. Game mechanics, working your resources. It's the beautiful thing, man. So, but anyways, I think that is okay. Please don't crash on me again. Actually, quick save time. Save as, create new save. This is going to be early start, Brave, YouTube. All right, we're gonna save it because we don't want to crash again. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so they're dropping it off here and bouncing back here, and that's how they're dropping off the gravel, which is kind of crazy to me that would be the way that it's done. But who knows? Okay, so select offices have everything they need except for helicopters. That's fine, and they're not moving yet because all of the other stuff needs to be done first. And we will hook up this one temporarily just so that they have a quicker option to get over here instead of having to go up and around. Yes, awesome. Okay, so now that we have the construction yard getting up and operational and underway, currently just this one, so we can get a road team and we can clear up this one so that we can actually just tell them to do everything else. We're going to now focus on rail, because if we can get rail out here and drop everything off that we need, then they can just take everything they need a lot quicker and just go where they need to go. So you're loading up, so you can build that unfinished road and then do nothing. You're trying to drop off workers at the road, but we have machinery down and building a lot faster than we're putting gravel down. Your queue system seems to be flawed, good sir. So I'm going to tell you to not auto search, because to me this just seems really flawed and not what I'm trying to do. So you're not going to be allowed to do that. Cancel that. All you're allowed to do is that, please. Stop trying to search your own things. It's not working out. Okay, so that means that they might have to go back, whatever. That's fine. I'd rather them do what I need them to do and not worry about other stuff. And then we can get the train system up and operational so we can drop off as much stuff as we need on train and then bring it over to where we need to. And we might even look to actually set up a temporary open storage here just so everything is like bussed in, and then this will just be our primary. And we could also have trains load here and take it over to a construction site. That is a thing we can do, which is something that we might look and explore at. So we only do have wood-based railroad, which granted it is very early on. We have long train depot, an end station, and that is all of our depots. And then in terms of, well, actually we have the train depot, but it costs quite a fair bit. That's the long depot. That's the end station. But I am looking for I need the construction office. That's what I need first. I don't really need anything else. I just need the construction office first, which is going to be the number 4. I don't need the large one. And then once I'm ready to finally get some trains, I'm going to be needing the train depot. Or I don't think the end station can do it because it does not allow me to actually have trains come in. And what I'm thinking is it's going to have to be this long train depot because I think it is cheaper. Oh no, 58 tons, 51 tons. So this train depot is going to be the cheapest one. But I don't need it yet. I just need to be able to build track. And that's with the rail construction office, which is a 4. And then that kind of goes into this whole plan of having the construction yard. Is we want to have the rail construction to be able to be built over here as well, so that we can kind of hook everything up. But I do hate the way that it actually is all built. It seems very janky to me, and difficult, because if I put it here, then I need to run everything out, and I can have aggregate storage. So I might want to actually put it here, and I can run the train up like that, and then I can run it through and down and to wherever it needs to go. Or I could put it up somewhere here, and then the trains could wrap this way if need be to some type of small industrial, wrap up, or they can continue on and I can do some type of different track. Or I can set it up over here, so I can build all the track it needs to, and then this would be its own designated. But I think over here is probably going to be my best bet. I do need to supply it with quite a few things. Oil, aggregate of coal, and water. It does need to import, and I think that's just for steam engine and stuff like that. So we're going to want to probably set it up, if we can flip it, so that the aggregate's on that side. We're going to want to put it somewhere here. So that we can run track down and into it, and then we could also run track out and away, like kind of around here if we need, and then they could curl in, or it could just keep going straight along the coast. So I'm going to do something probably in here for the train construction yard. We also need to hook up the way it's going to get all of its aggregate, or not aggregate, open storage, but it has 250 tons of its own storage, which I think is plenty. Does it have any coal storage? Import. No. So it does not have... It has 150 tons of gravel for storage, steel, prefabs, bricks, and boards. And also has a built-in warehouse, but it does not have anything else. Okay, so we're going to want to build like that. And I don't think for the water that we actually need to have it purified, because it's just going to be used in steam. It's not used for anything for drinking water or anything like that. So I think we're good if we don't have it for drinking water. So let's do something where this is going to come out 85, and then we'll wrap in like so, and then this will also allow trains to go out. And then we have a way to get everything to come in. Resource on the site is 4.8 tons, and we're waiting for somebody to drop off workers. So I also want this to get up and operational and be built. So I'm going to sign that. Direction stop, suspend. What are you guys waiting? Okay, you're all the open halls. So you're going to have to wait for groundwork to be done before you can activate. Now, this only has 2. So what I think I might do is I might get another... Is it waiting on... What is it waiting on? Concrete. So I'm going to do 2 more concrete mixers, I think. And then if we need, we can do more dumpers down the road. Because this is bringing in 4.5. This is bringing in the last little bit, and then this guy is bringing in asphalt. What are you? You're a dumper. Okay. So that's going to dump everything that it needs. should be everything. Yeah, okay, that's everything. And then this one will get underway. This is a lot more, but you need rail, like early on. It's the only way to get things done. I just wish there was a way smaller variation that did not cost 55 tons of a certain product when you're in 1930, and it is like impossible to get anything done around here. Okay, so then if we're to build train track, because remember, this does not all need to be hooked up for it to function the way that I'm anticipating it to function. But what I do want to have is enough track that runs this way. So I think what I want to do is I'm going to want to have track running. I don't want to waste space. I think maybe if track was to run here, then that might be good. Or if I run it here, I might be able to get in some more small depots. But I think running close to the road is a good idea. So I'm going to do 115, 115, and then can I bring this? No. Can I bring it out this way? No. Okay, so maybe these are a little too close. If I did something like this, please let me do it. So I might need to do something like, say, what if I did like that and then I ran this one? Can I connect it? Yes, okay, I can. So I'm going to connect these into it like this. I'm going to delete those. Because that's going to allow me to do that. And I think for the rail signal, this is going to be long enough for them to both go in. And then they can, if need be, we could have it so that they can exit this way. But that might be a different day type thing. Future construction opportunities. But I think this is far enough. If I wanted to, though, I really could just build in its own, like, its own, and then I don't have to worry about if it has enough track. And I think like 100 and can I get 130? Okay, 130. Let's do the same with this one. 130. I think that was the same. Then I can run this one. I think let's do 90. And then let's connect these two together. Yeah. Okay, so that should be enough track. And then that means I can run this one up that way without running into any problems. And I can also do like transformers here. Whatever I might need, I can do in here. And then I can pull power to wherever I need. So I think this is a good opening for the transformers and stuff like that. And then this can run off to wherever it may need to go. But what we should look to do is setting up our train, our train location coming into the border, which I think if I did, I don't know the longest train I can get, but if we did 220, 220, and 220, and then if we turned this one like this, I think we need to make like a slight choke point, like that. And if I can get this one, something like that. And then this would be the location where the train section would be. So if a train's in here picking a lane, no other train will block it. So let's just run this one out just a little bit like that. And then let's run some track. Let's actually run, let's do 80 and 80, and then we can bring this one in. I'm thinking maybe I might just do 2. I don't think I need 3. Let's get rid of that one and just do 2. So that's going to be kind of where it closes itself off, and I don't like where it's positioned right now. So let's do right there, and then maybe that might be a little too close too. Let's do that, and then something like like that. Okay, yeah, that looks good. Then that can be a section. Perfect. And then this would need to run. Ooh, quite aggressive. That is quite aggressive, isn't it? To get that to run into here. However, could it come in a different direction? I'm trying to see, like, maybe if we wrapped it this way, and then I could hook itself up. Like, maybe it could go... something like that, but that's still quite aggressive. So maybe we could do... What if I did... Yeah, I can make like a T. So let's do 110. Let's bring this one out as well. So let's do a 2-path. And then this one would need to run straight through. So let's do something like that, and then something like that, and then actually let's bring this one back. This is challenging. Didn't think it was gonna be so challenging, but it is quite challenging. Something like that. So that would be that choke point, so that no other train could go in there while it's doing its thing. And then we should run a train track down like so. Do the same for that, and then this one would run out like that, and then the same for here, I think. So actually, if we do that, and then this could go away, and then if we just did come on, we could do that. Yeah, okay. So then this would be its own section. And then that means I could go this way. And then go in here, and then they can change direct. I think this is how it works. But if they're coming in through here, they can choose this path or continue on this path. And then that gets them on the other side. But then they can't switch unless they go in here, and then they can make a decision on this track or this track. I don't know how these T sections work, because the train went this way. He's now on this track going forward, or he's going forward on this track still, which then this would be the deciding factor, and then we have to make a way for them to potentially change and go off this way, which I think we could do with these two tracks. I think if we did maybe not. Let me see. Okay, what if we just pulled off of here? Can we do that? This is gonna look like crazy spaghetti. So I think if we did something like that, and can this... No. But if they're coming, so if this is the one way this way, this would only be that way. They would need a way, they would need to have a way to switch tracks. And that would be able if they could do that, but they can't. Oh, but they can here. So then if somebody's in here, then nobody can go in there. But then they can... I don't know. But then we could do that, and then that's two tracks running off. Oh my goodness. Let's... I think let's end the episode there. Let's end it there with a bit of train confusion, a crash, some early start DLC stuff. We're making some progress. We're only in the 1930s. We got nobody here. We got nothing really going on. gravel road going up, and then let's see what happens later down the road. But I gotta check out the train signaling stuff and how that all works, so that we can actually make a proper track. What I think I need to do is I need to figure out like where do my signals need to go, how to form a track, so that we're doing something that trains can have kind of like choke points, so that one goes in, one goes out, and then the other ones can go in. But then they also have places where they can kind of like queue up, because right now there's no real way for them to queue here. They're just kind of stuck. And that's the thing where I might need to get this up and operational, and then build myself kind of a train waiting zone, which then that can branch out into this location, because I just don't think I have like a train waiting location right now, and it's just going to get super congested and bottled up. Or if I need to, because I don't have space and I can't move this, I could put the train waiting point on this side, and then kind of figure out how to hook up these two locations. So that's something I need to figure out. But until then, I appreciate everybody that always joins, and everyone that comments, and everyone that's just present and around to say, hey, how's it going? Thank you for the episodes. Also, sending my love to the guy. There's one guy that is commenting all the time. He's from the Netherlands. I think that's super cool that I have somebody from the Netherlands constantly watching these videos. So yeah, until next time, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm Brave, and I'll see everybody on the next one.